Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Tom Stewart here. I'm with Liz Trotter. This is Smart Business Moves, and our guest today,
Sorry, I'm trying to do my camera.
Hey, Lauren, how are you today?
I'm good. How about y'all? Thank
These
you.
cameras are cool, aren't they? You can get close.
I don't know. Some things you just don't want to see up close, though. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you never know.
Looks like you're at home, Lauren. Are you in your son's bedroom? That's what it looks like here.
No, I'm actually in my office.
Oh, you're in your office. You just have cool stuff. I saw an elephant too. So, okay. It's looking more office-y. Right. Yeah, I saw that elephant.
It's a cool project. Yes.
How cute.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about goal setting and engaging, using it to get engagement within your office and your organization.
Yep.
Okay. So you kind of want me to take over?
No, he's gonna go. He's gonna go over the calendar for next week first. But he's just warming the audience up because it's a big audience right now. It's wide. Okay, so you've never been on one of these before, Lauren. So over on the right-hand side of your screen, you see where it says comments?
Yes.
Right next to where it says private chat, that's actually a tab. If you click it, you'll be able to see comments that come in live.
Okay.
Okay. And then I'm not anticipating that we're going to have a ton of people because of Thanksgiving, but hey, Caleb.
Yeah,
Caleb.
our Made Central user call today was sparsely attended. It was earlier this afternoon. I think everybody's kind of packing it in for the week.
Yeah. Our MMA call today it usually has 12 to 15 people on it. Today I had 6 and I was one of them. So I was like, what the heck is, Thanksgiving. All right. Yeah. Yeah. So you can see, hey, Leslie. I was just giving Caleb grief about starting drama and a thread, a group thread, an MMA thread. I was like, what are you doing, dude? He's funny. He's a funny guy.
So, I don't have my PowerPoint deck put together for next week. I think I had a couple. I mean, I know absolutely for sure I had a couple of questions for you, and I don't guess we've ever had an opportunity to.
Oh, for me? Well, I can go look at it. Not that it'll help us for now. We don't need it anyway. We have so much time.
Our guest for Monday is Teresa. I just don't have a last name, and it says the 5 S's for Six Sigma.
Yeah. So she is a Six Sigma black belt. I'm super excited about having her on the show. And she's going to be talking to us about basically the Six Sigma training and how to utilize that in our businesses.
And her name's Teresa.
It is. I can't remember her last name.
Doesn't matter. Six Sigma is pretty cool.
It's really cool.
And that could be useful.
Yeah. Hey, Denise.
And next Tuesday, this is December 1st. Can you believe it? We're going to be in December next week. There's Sherry Ann and Woolley. And I know Sherry Ann, she runs a pretty cool cleaning business. She's in Canada. Mm-hmm. And she's going to be talking about how systems help her thrive through the pandemic, this unprecedented event that we're dealing with.
Yeah, her systems have been so tight and so strong going through the pandemic that she's growing, but people are buying her systems from her. So she's going to share those with us. Yay, super happy. Not a lot of people are full in the pandemic, but she is, so it's great.
And Wednesday, we're going to have Amy Wiggs-King, and she's going to be sharing with us how to weed out the riff-raff.
I love that title. Yeah, so her topic is about, you have these people, sometimes you get these people in your company, and they start out and they're great, and so you keep them, of course, because they're great, but then you find out they're not so great, but it's too far in. to really do some of the normal things. It's more than a month, maybe it's 3 months in, 5 months in, and how to kind of weed those people out. I'm like, it's gonna be good.
And Friday, I guess.
Look, Laura looks so serious. Look at how serious she looks. I'm like, she's over there working right now. She's like, okay, I'm just gonna keep working while they're talking.
Serious work to be done here.
That's right. Going into Thanksgiving.
There's an announcement going to be made Friday about a new program that's going to be launched. Do you know anything about that, Liz?
Is that this Friday?
Yeah, Black Friday.
Yeah. I have no idea, Tom. What are you talking about right now?
I don't know. I saw some stuff in Facebook and some places. No,
we're bad at this.
We are not good.
No.
Look, Lauren's like, y'all are really bad at this.
It'll be over before you know it, Lauren. Just hang in there. Just hang in there. An hour goes by fast. You'll be amazed.
You will be amazed. Most of it is laughing at us. Yeah. So yeah, there's an announcement about a program. I think it's Carrie Knight is announcing that. You can tell that it's not anything that we are putting out ourselves, Tom, because the graphics look too nice, and we never know what the heck we're doing.
Yeah,
right?
The word, yeah.
Yeah, it's the truth. It's the truth. All right, so
we're not going to be here Friday because we don't work on Fridays.
It's true.
Maybe we should do a special pop-up Facebook Live sometime Friday, and maybe we could share a little bit more about it.
Okay, well, how about we talk about that later?
Yeah, well.
Lauren, what are you eating? Grapes?
Grapes.
Oh, they look good.
It's just us. I mean, nobody else is going to.
It's true. No, we got Denise and Caleb and Leslie. We got a bunch of people.
We have lots of followers.
I'm so sorry. Lauren, what's going on in your world? How are those grapes?
Really good. Really good.
They do look good. They look crisp.
Tell us a little bit about your business, where you're located, what you guys do, and anything about you personally. Just wherever
So, my mother started the company 37 years ago. She started it 7 months after she had me. My father started a carpet cleaning company 45 years ago, and my mother saw the need for maid service in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, which is where we are, and opened the maid service. She was always the silent owner and always had a manager running it for her.
And your mother is Ellen, for those, I mean, and she's been busy in ARCSI, and we all know Ellen.
Ellen folks. And then Chunky is Lauren's dad.
Right. So they have a wealth of knowledge, even though she wasn't in the day-to-day business. She had knowledge from my father's carpet cleaning company, and then he expanded to fire and water restoration. And she kept the business with the maid service going strong. And I've been in it 10 years now, and went from employee to employer over a weekend, which was very tough. And every day is a challenge. Every day is a challenge. I faced my newest challenge. We have blackout dates. A lot of people in the maid service industry are familiar with those dates where you can't take off your busiest time of year. And a cleaner that's been with me for 5 years took off Thursday, Friday, and Monday. And Monday is the start of our blackout date. So we had to figure out, without getting rid of her, what the consequence would be, because we don't want people taken off during that time.
Yeah. So
that was a new challenge for us, a difficult one, because I don't like the confrontation. And we are without an operations manager right now, so it was me having to do it. So
what'd you do, Lauren?
We gave her an option. We asked her if she could move her trip up from Wednesday to Sunday so she could be back on Monday. And she said no. So we said, okay, well, in that situation, we don't want you not to take your trip and we don't want to lose you. So the consequence is you won't be paid for Thanksgiving. She said, okay.
That seems like an easy consequence. I'd have taken that deal all day long.
Yeah,
That was
really?
nice.
Sign me up for that.
Yeah, that was nice of you.
Yep. So
No, it really is hard when you get those long-term employees like doing some flaky stuff or feeling like, they're kind of entitled a little bit. So
right,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it was a little difficult because this particular employee was a good friend of mine before she started. So dealing with an issue like that with her was just a little bit more personable, more intimate.
I think that's what makes it harder too.
Exactly.
Yeah. When you have that other type of a relationship.
Right.
Well, so the reason why I wanted to bring you on today, Lauren, is actually I do love the way you are really great about sharing everything, just like that. It's a great example of a story that who hasn't dealt with that at least once, right? I keep clicking out. I'm not going to lose internet again today.
You're good. You're good.
Okay, good. But one of the things that I really loved when I was at your place, Lauren, was you're really good at staying focused on the goals. I know your mom was really good at setting the business up so that you always have goals that you're always operating with. And you have a question. Okay. But that you guys engage everybody around the idea of the goals in your company, so everybody knows what you're working on all the time, and it's easy to motivate people around this stuff because they all know what's going on, and it's no big shock, it's nothing new, it's not a big surprise, it's how your company runs. And a lot of people struggle with goals, so that's why I was hoping that you would share a little bit about that. But first, share your blackout dates.
So our blackout dates, we have two sets. The first are the week of Thanksgiving. And then the second set is the week before Christmas to the end of the year. So there's still, I think, 2 or 3 weeks in between Thanksgiving and Christmas, that people can still take their doctor's appointments and visit with family and things along those lines. And we just try and explain it like this is our busiest time of year. This is when everyone wants their house cleaned, so we ask that you not take any time off, whether it's half a day, whether it's a whole day, whatever the situation is.
We have the same thing, I think, with a little twist. We tell people it's blackout, but put in your request. And if the time becomes available because customers cancel or whatever, skip their cleans, then we'll let you have it off, like kind of first come, first served. But yeah, same thing. People don't like that blackout time. And the Christmas week is the Christmas blackout is a long blackout period.
Right.
Tom, don't you at Castle Keepers, I don't know if you even know this, but don't you have like a red out period that is similar to that?
Well, we call it blackout, and actually, Made Central setup gives you the ability to configure blackout dates, and employees have to go into the employee portal to, request days off, and it's blacked out. They can still request it, kind of like what you're suggesting, but it's not automatically granted. It's kind of flying standby. If things work out, it's first come, first serve, but everybody needs to be prepared to work on that day or those days.
I do really love that about Made Central, is that the software platform is the bad guy, not, not me.
My hands are tied. The software is
like, oh gosh, sorry. Did you go in and look? What did it say? Oh, is it blackout? Oh, sorry. But I mean, we're joking, but it really does feel that way. I mean, the employees are like, oh, okay, well, I guess I don't have a choice. The software said.
You can't argue with the computer.
What are you going to do? Yeah, you can try, but good luck on that. So I do love that. Okay, so Lauren, tell us about your goal setting a little bit, and how you guys do it, and how you decide what your goals are going to be. Sort of walk us through your process if you could.
So we have several different types of goals. We have sales goal based off of the sales that we bring in. That is for office personnel, the sales manager, the operations manager, and myself. And the operations manager, their goal is a little bit different than the sales manager because it's two different roles. But so the first one we have is our sales goal. And what we do is we do a running total for each month. And our bookkeeper emails it to us on a daily basis. And I don't know if I can share my screen.
You can.
Or not.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great.
Just to kind of show y'all what it looks like.
Down at the bottom, you should see a little like monitor looking thing. Yeah.
Share screen. Okay, so can y'all see this email?
Pretty soon. Yep.
Okay, so this email is a daily email that we get from our bookkeeper, and it's sent to myself.
Can you make it bigger, Lauren? I can't really see it.
Did that make it?
No.
Bigger?
I made it a little bit bigger, but.
Oh, there we go. It's just a delayed reaction.
Okay.
I made it a little bit bigger by making.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Tom. So it's emailed to myself, Ellen, my mother, and Tiffany, who is our sales manager. We currently, like I said, don't have an operations manager. Otherwise, they'd be included in there. Our goal for this month, we did lower it due to COVID, but our goal for this month was 68,000 or is 68,000. As of Tuesday, yesterday, we're at 51,686. Right underneath it, it tells us where we were supposed to be at 55,047.62. And then if it's in parentheses, it means we didn't hit that number. So that's the difference between what we were supposed to be versus what we are. And then the bottom number is what's left. So it's real time every day being shared with my office staff. So we see how much we need to get, how much more we need to possibly book, that kind of thing. The goal numbers are figured out in December. Usually, my business coach and I usually start on it beginning of December. We put in stone around the end of December, and then I get with my sales manager and I go over them with her just to kind of get approval. When I do that, I'm doing it to get them on board so they don't think it's an outrageous number. They see the whole year at a glance. They see where we're going from current to where we're going to in the next future year. The way that we come up with our numbers is I do an average of the current year with the past 2 years, so a rolling average of 3 years. And I kind of gradually increase it each year, anywhere from 2 to 5%. And so I take my total and divide it out into 12, that 2 to 5%, and I add it to each month. And then if it looks too small, I add some more kind of thing.
We need more money than that.
Right. Because there are times, especially this year with COVID, where your numbers are going to be a lot lower than what they usually are. So to give you an example, our numbers for July and August, we do a big turn clean for, we're a college town, and we do a big turn clean for this apartment. And last year, 2019, we did almost 80,000 in a month, which is a big month for us. Yeah. And this year, I think we did 60. So it was a huge difference, so when I look at my numbers for next year, I like to be optimistic. And yes, COVID will still be going on at the beginning of the year, but hopefully come July, August, COVID will be finished and we can get those turn clean. So I'm not going to base my number off of 60,000 from this year. I'm going to kind of do an average of that 60,000, that 80,000 in that year before when I didn't do the turn clean. The other thing that I think about in situations like that is, based off of my experience with that apartment complex, am I going to do that turn clean again the next year? So if you've ever experienced a turn clean, it's very exhausting. Usually I like to be out there on a day-to-day basis to make sure everything's going smooth. And you're working probably 10 to 12 hours every single day, because not only are you out there, but you're coming back to your office, you're doing laundry, you're filling your chemicals, everything along those lines. So I don't do turn cleans every year because I don't want to get to the point where I say I'm never going to do them again. Sometimes it's every other year. Sometimes last year was the first time I did it in about 5 years, because when I did it before, it was actually a really successful, but the next year I had to renege on doing it like 3 weeks before, because I had a lot of turnover right before. So, my goal numbers for that year weren't too great. But, so to give you a little reference, doing the rolling average of the 3 years is really good in a situation like this year where our numbers took a hit. So it's not basing your next year's numbers off of just this current year. You have 2 other years that you're rolling into there.
Yeah.
So the way that our bonus works for my salesperson is, if we hit our sales goal, they automatically get $500. It is included on their check, so it's taxable. Anything over the sales goal, they get 10% up to $3,000. And then anything after $3,000, they get 5%.
Okay, what did you say? Up to 3? What was it? Say it again. Okay, the second part.
Let's say this month, right? $68,000.
Yeah.
We do. Let's say we do 70,000. They're going to make 10% of that additional $2,000. So they're going to make an additional $200. And then anything over that, so it would actually be 71,000. If we went over 71,000, whatever is over that 71,000, they would make 5%.
I gotcha. Okay.
So that they get more money on top of that $500 set bonus that they get.
So what are you doing on a year like this, Lauren, where, the chances of people hitting the originally set sales goals are so slim? Are you adjusting them so that people have a chance to get them? Are you, bummer for you, I'm not making money, you're not making money? What do you do?
So as the business owner, and as greedy as I am, sometimes I want to say that, but then my coach says, "Really, Lauren, do you want these people to stay around?" And I said, "Yeah." And she says, "Well, then you can't do that." So I think, let's see, we're in November right now, September, we lowered the rest of the year to 68 even. I think it ranged anywhere from 70 to 75 for the rest of the year. Sorry, I'm having a gnat issue. But we took the numbers down to 68, and we've worked it out so that the salesperson isn't upset because they're not going to hit their goal because we're short staffed. So I know a lot of people in the maid service industry right now are having employee issues where they can't get to the point where they're starting to grow or, get to the goals that they want to make because they can't get the employees. So we're still in the same boat. So what we've done for our salesperson is, so our goal is 68,000. And let's say we do 60, right? So to hit that 68,000, we would have to have 14 full-time cleaners. So for each cleaner, we subtract $5,000. Because on average with our company, that's about how much they bring in a month is $5,000. So let's say we only had 10 cleaners for the month of November and we did 60,000. So we're short 4 cleaners. So, that's 20,000. So we don't do a full $500 bonus. We do a $300 bonus. And what I've done with that is I find it discouraging to the salesperson when you tell them they get $300 and then you add it to their check and it's really not $300 because, of course, you have to take taxes out. Yeah. So what I do sometimes, not all the time, is I will go and get a Visa card for $300. And so instead of $250, because you've now had taxes come out, you get the full $300. So I've done that once or twice. So it seems like with the amount of cleaners that we had, if the goal was set to that amount, we would have hit it. Since about September. So September, October, we hit it. I'm hoping that we're 3,300 off from our goal. I'm hoping that we'll be about 2,000 off. We currently have 9 full-time cleaners. We have a lot of part-time people right now.
Yeah. And
that part-time kind of looks like 1 to 2 days a week. So they don't bring in a lot of revenue for the company. So that's just my sales manager. That's what we do for her. I have a different bonus set for my operations person, and that's based off of quality and also based off of employees retention. So I want to be fully staffed, and I want to know that my staff, my operations person is keeping the cleaners happy and not just being content with being fully staffed. So based off of that, to be fully staffed for our company, it's 15 full-time employees, and they automatically get a $300 bonus. And that means someone that just came out of training, they would not be considered in that full-time 15. Does that make sense? So
because they're not operating at full status yet. Is that why?
Right, exactly.
Okay.
They have to be a month of full status to be eligible to meet that 15 full-time status.
Do you do like FTEs, full-time equivalents, or so you add
I tried doing that, but it gets a little mushy. Like I said, we have several people right now that are part-time, and part-time to them is 1 day a week. So, how do you equivalate someone that works 1 day a week that's working four days out of a month? I have another person who works every other weekend. So ultimately they're the same as the one day a week person,
right?
4 days out of the month. So when I did try that, the people that we had part-time were working more than just 1 day a week. So what I did, they worked 2 to 3 days a week. So what I would do is if they add up to ultimately 5 days a week, then it's equivalent to a full-time
one person.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
So that didn't happen too often. We are trying, I think we have more part-time employees right now because we're trying to get business anywhere we can. And we're trying to get employees anywhere we can. And Here, a lot of people have decided to keep their kids home and go virtual. So that being said, a lot of people can't work 8 to 5, 9 to 5, whatever that daytime hours are, but they can work nighttime. So we kind of branched out to more commercial than residential, so we can get that revenue still coming in. But it also calls for those part-time people. So
Right.
We're just trying to get anything that we can right now.
Well, that was gonna be my next question. So I love that you get this report coming in every day, so everybody can see how far off goal we are, et cetera, et cetera. But do they know what to do to be able to impact these sales? Like, do you have like a list of activities that they can do, or how do they impact it? Or is it just, oh, that's interesting, and file it away?
So two things with that. If you're short staffed, it makes it a little bit difficult to be able to impact it. So you have to think of it the way that I try and teach my salesperson is, how can we take the cleaners that we currently have and make their jobs longer, which ultimately is more money? So what extra services can we offer to our already customers or these first-time cleans that we're going to that can bring in more money to increase our sales? Can we do laundry? Can we do oven cleaning? Can we do refrigerator cleaning? Mm-hmm. So we're adding an extra hour here, or, you know, we're scheduling an additional day that we're coming to do these extra services. We've also expanded into fogging, which I personally do. So and when we do fogging, we have a very high profit margin on it because it's just myself and the fogger, which is already paid for, and the chemical, which is already paid for. So we're just talking about my time. And if you're familiar with fogging, it takes very little time. So, that's kind of our easy money maker, is the fogging, along with adding the extra services. We sub jobs out as well, and those would be like carpet cleaning or window washing, pressure washing, things along those lines that we don't personally do. We have someone here in town that does it for us, and then we always mark it up 40%. Payment goes through us, and then we pay them. So that's one way that the salesperson can increase her sales on a day-to-day bonus basis as well. We have a lot of automation set up as well, talking about different extra services that we do and things like that. One thing that the salesperson always kind of resorts back when we lose a customer or gain a customer, we have a profit and loss sheet that we do on a month-to-month basis, is she'll resort back to her profit and loss spreadsheet, and she'll call those customers that might have canceled and see if they want, you know, a deep clean with just one person instead of two people, or, you know, windows done, or, you know, something small like that you could possibly send one person because you might not have two people to send. Things along those lines.
So just looking for additional strategies. So it seems like part of what you're doing to get buy-in is you're getting people to brain ideas and think a little bit more, so that it's not just a rote job and they feel like they're a victim to the circumstance, that they have lots of opportunities. Do your sales manager, and I know you don't have an operations manager right now, but do they work closely together, since their jobs are very much tied to each other, right? Sales manager can't book, and they're not going to be able to keep employees if there's not enough work.
Exactly. So when we did have a sales manager, an operations manager, they pretty much worked hand in hand. So our office is 3 offices and then a warehouse, and we just kind of holler to each other because My sales manager is across the hall, and my operations office is right next door. So we can all kind of see each other. And instead of getting on the phone and calling each other's office, we just kind of holler at each other. But when I had an operations person, you know, the biggest thing for us with operations is making sure that your crew, your staff is in and out of the homes in the amount of time that they're supposed to be, because if they're not, then you have the problem of them being late to their next job. You have an upset customer.
Oh yeah.
You know, so with working hand in hand, the operations person is letting the salesperson know, hey, Janie's running late. I called Miss Smith and let her know, but I didn't get her and I left a voicemail. So if Miss Smith calls back and you answer the phone, you know, this is why she's calling back, kind of thing. One thing that I've had with interviewing candidates is I've asked my sales manager to interview the operations person, the people that I'm interested in, each time I've gotten a candidate, because they are going to have to work hand in hand, exactly like you said, because if my operations person isn't hiring, then my salesperson can't book. And if my salesperson is booking too many jobs, then my operations person is going to have cleaners that are worn out and your quality is going to go down and things along those lines. So I make sure to let the people that I have interviewed for operations know you have to work hand in hand with the salesperson. So I want them to interview to make sure that they're all going to be able to work together.
Lauren, Dominique has a couple of questions, and I think that you've in part already answered his first question. He was asking who in your organization qualifies for bonus. So you've got your sales manager, your operations manager. Are there others who participate in the bonus program as well?
So I guess you could consider it a bonus program. Our cleaners. So when Liz came and visited us years ago, I think we were still doing it to where we publicized our sales goal monthly to our cleaners. And if we hit our sales goal, I think they got like $30. Well, one thing that I noticed was they could have cared less if we hit our sales goal. So I cut that out. But what we do now is we have a bonus for our cleaners based off of quality. So theirs has to be a certain GPA, and it goes off of quality-driven softwares, a certain GPA, and a certain response rate. And it used to not be the response rate. It used to just be the GPA. But then we had one particular cleaner that worked 2 days a week, and one customer would respond with a 4, which is the highest rating, and she hit that GPA. And so, like I said earlier, I'm pissed because now this girl's getting a bonus when one customer responds. How is that fair? So the way that we have it now is you have to have a certain GPA. You have to have, A, B, C, D, and F. You have to have an A GPA, and you have to have a 60% out of 100% response rate. So with that, we have a big wheel, and on that wheel, we have a gazillion +1 gift cards. You know, whatever kind of gift card they want is what they get. Gift cards, paid day off, $50 towards their light bill, towards their cell phone bill, towards their car bill. That's their bonus.
Okay.
But it's based off of quality.
All right, so for everybody that's on here right now, for those of you that have ever had the same experience Lauren had, where you're giving people money and you're offering them a bonus for something like sales, etc., and they're like, they don't care at all. Read the book Drive, DRIVE, and right now, the name escapes me. The author's name escapes me. Tom, will you put it in link for us?
Yep.
And the reason I'm suggesting that is there's a really good reason why they don't care, and they're never going to care. So you just need to know what that is and the way to incentivize and motivate people so that they will work hard for what you want from them. Now, people that have like in Lauren, in your situation with your sales manager and your ops manager, they have a lot more control over that situation. And so it's easier to get them to work hard for something they have control over. But so tell us a little bit about your ops manager, because that one, I know a lot of people are feeling like, gosh, I don't have a lot of control over the people that are working for us right now. I can't find anybody. Nobody can find anyone. Even when we get people, they have to leave, go take care of their kids. They, there's like all of this stuff going on. How are you managing that?
So our biggest thing is exactly what you said. And with not having an ops manager, my sales manager and I kind of had to think outside of the box. And so with our thinking outside of the box, we have all of our cleaners drive their own vehicle. So they have to have a legal vehicle. They have to have a valid driver's license, car insurance that is required here in Louisiana. And so it limits our employee pool. So we're thinking, okay, how can we open our employee pool up? So we are actually going to buy a van. And like I started off with, my father started a fire and water restoration company. My brother now co-owns it with my father and runs it. And he has probably 150 company cars. And he gets new company cars probably every year. So with us being in this employee crunch and thinking outside of the box, we are going to buy one of his vans, his 15 passenger vans. And we are currently solo cleaners, and we are going to expand into teams. And we are going to have a 15 passenger van and a driver. We're going to have teams of 2. And that driver is going to drop 3 to 4 teams, we haven't decided completely, off in the same area and pick them all back up. So ultimately, we're opening our labor pool to people who don't have
cars or licenses. Or,
right, yeah, exactly.
Ability to get around. So that's interesting. You're the second person that I've talked to, I think it's this month, that is going from solos to teams. Traditionally, people are always going from teams down to solos. So it's interesting that you're looking for, like you said, you're doing some out of the box thinking that is different than what you've ever done before, and just seeing different ways to make it work. They have a very interesting going from solos to teams.
But I mean, that's just an example of, a lot of it depends upon market conditions.
Absolutely.
And, if you're supply constrained, if you can't find, cleaning professionals, you can definitely broaden the number of candidates you can consider if you do teams. Not everybody has to drive.
Yeah, absolutely. And with this, you can have 15 people, 15 passenger van, right? 15 people that don't have to have licenses or drive. You just need that one person that can. That's super interesting. So also, Dominique had another question here. Can you see it on the screen, Lauren, about ensuring the whole team?
How are you ensuring the whole team is bought in on the idea of retention?
So retention for a salesperson to me is a different meaning than retention for an operations person. And I say it like that because to me, in my mind, an operations person retention is going to be your employees, your laborers, right? So one thing I was also going to say, Liz, when you had asked about how is your ops manager going to keep the people that you have happy and things along those lines, that's really important with the current employees, is making sure that they are happy, they're getting the amount of work that they want, that they don't feel like they're being overworked because you're understaffed, that they feel like they're being appreciated. So we've done different things to help them feel that they're appreciated. I try to send out a text message to at least one cleaner a week, telling them thank you. And when they ask what for, I say, for being you. And that's all I tell them, for being you. And I did it to one employee this week, and she came in the next day and cried and said how much it meant to her, that no one's ever told her thank you. So to me, retention for an operations person is making sure your current employees are happy, that their quality of work is up. And if it's not, helping them to improve their quality. So it's getting on a personal level as well, because sometimes their quality might suffer because they have personal stuff going on in their life. But it's also knowing when to draw the line as well. As far as sales go, retention is making sure that customer is happy. And so it goes back to the hand-in-hand thing, the salesperson working with the operations person. And the way that I look at it is, if your employees are happy, if your laborers are happy, they are giving you good quality, and good quality keeps your customers. So in today's world with COVID and everyone not sure if they're going to have a job tomorrow kind of thing, if we're doing those wow factors and making sure our customers are very satisfied, then when they get laid off of their job, they're going to stop their gym membership. They're not going to stop their maid service.
Hopefully, right?
Right.
Yeah, that'd be nice. You can work out at home, but not if the house is dirty.
Right.
Then I got to stop and clean the house. All right. So, Lauren, you were talking about, like, when you're setting your goals, you get this email daily. Do you have anything that you post in your office for people to be looking at, or is everything done through email?
Everything's done through email. My sales manager does have a dry erase board next to her desk that she will write all the customers that she gains for the month and all the customers that she loses for the month. So it's visible, although we do have a Excel spreadsheet, you don't always have that spreadsheet up. Yeah. So I want it to be visible to her, so she sees, as well as the cleaners see it as well. When they come in her office and they see their particular regular customer has now canceled, they want to know why, they want to know what happened, all the details, right, and they want to know who you're putting in the place.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Who am I going to be cleaning for? Although that'll be changing up just a little bit if you're moving over to teams. That's a consideration that you don't have nearly as much when you're solos. I mean, right, when you're teams versus solos, it's a different configuration there. All right. So, so back to Dominique's question about keeping your people engaged. So, how do you get so right now we're all struggling with employees, right? I mean, not everybody, but most people are struggling in some way, shape, or form with employees. Do you do anything to get the actual labor engaged in this idea of retention for either one, for either the customers or for employees? And because they're the largest amount of people that we have. So I'm curious if you use them to help you with retention on either side, or if you put it more on just the managers.
So one thing that we do, so we have a 4-star rating, and we have a weekly training meeting. And at our weekly training meeting, we have our cleaners write customers that gave them 4 stars from the week before. And we give them what we call a big woot woot, which is like a pat on the back.
Yeah.
And everyone that's in the meeting says woot woot. So I'm all about praise and letting people know that you're doing a good job. And one thing that
you say it, you go woot woot.
Yeah, we say woot woot.
Woot woot. Woot woot. I could work there.
The best part is when my kids say it. So that's where it came from. I think Harrison, my oldest, said it one day. He was like, whoop, whoop. And I was like, oh, that's really good. So then when we started doing this, we have a floor to ceiling dry erase board that the cleaners every Wednesday will write their customers that gave them 4 stars and any kind of comments. And I read it out loud so everyone can hear. And it makes them really, really check it. Really want to know how their customers feel about their cleaning. And if their customers don't respond, they really get upset. You know, I've had this one particular cleaner she's been with us 30 plus years, and she nags the HE double hockey sticks out of me every week because this one customer isn't responding, and she wants me to get on the phone and call this customer. Like, Kathy, come on, man. You know, I'm sorry, I'll send her an email, but how do you tell her? I don't have time for that baloney, you know? So
really cleaning the language up on the show here today, Laura.
Well, I don't know what it's rated.
Well, yeah,
it's G-rated. You're doing really well.
This thought did cross my mind, Lauren. It's like, this could be interesting. And, you know, the rating actually changes from one day to the next. I mean, we've had some, you know, F-bombs dropped, and
yeah.
It can go a lot of different directions.
We do try to keep it more G to PG, but every once in a while, it takes a rapid turn. And you know, you are a fiery little thing there. So.
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah. So that's how I try and keep the cleaners engaged, and is by showing everybody how good of a job that they're doing.
I do love this dry erase board. I love that it's floor to ceiling. I love that you're having them write it up there. I mean, that's very engaging when they have a piece of it that everybody does the whoop whoop. That's awesome. So it's hard for people to keep a low level of enthusiasm when everyone around them is showing enthusiasm. And there's an old-fashioned saying, "Bake it till you make it," right? And a lot of times that enthusiasm, it's catchy, right? But in the beginning, sometimes you got to fake it, right? You got to act a little bit more enthusiastic than you might feel.
Yeah, and there are times where, you know, we have some cleaners who aren't as outgoing as others.
Yeah.
So they don't feel comfortable writing their stuff on the board. But guess what? Lauren calls them out. So they don't write their stuff on the board, and I call them out and I say, "Hey, Ashley M, you have any customers?" And they read them, and I'm like, "Wow, that's awesome. Great job. Whoop, whoop." You know, and they feel good about it. And if they don't, I think they're a little down on themselves, maybe, because the next week they make sure they have a customer that they can say.
I got to find at least one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Denise made a comment here that this is inspiring to her, and she's going to work harder to get more out of QDS. So, you know, I guess it's like a lot of tools. Sometimes we invest in them, but don't fully use them. So it sounds like it's your squeezing everything. You know, you're putting your QDS subscription to good use.
Trying.
It's a very powerful program, Denise. So yeah, dig in and see all the different things that you can do with it. It's more than just a tool to, you know, find out how happy your customers are. That's valuable, but there's a lot more to it than that. So yeah, definitely take advantage.
Liz always talks about everybody needs a number, and this is a number that you can really use to drive positive change up and down, you know, your organization, throughout the organization.
Right.
We've been talking a lot about WIGs right now, the wildly important goals from the 4 disciplines of execution. It's our book of the month this month. And one of the most popular WIGs is to increase that quality rating to a really high number, like 99.5 or something. And, you know, it's doable with some of these tools. Out of curious. Oh, that's Denise again. Yeah. So, well, Lauren, I see that we are jumping up on this 3 o'clock mark. Do you have anything else that you would really love to share here that you think would be super helpful for people? One more thing is, I know you said that you start like in December with your goals. Do you you said something about you set them at the beginning and then you put them in stone, I think, by the end of the month. Maybe just real quick, share a little bit more about that. I know you probably have something else you want to share, but I really wanted to hear that.
So what I do is I complete my spreadsheet. Of course, I wouldn't have December, but I get my spreadsheet for the current year. So for 2020, I'll have it for 2019 and 2018. And I'll get with my business coach and we'll take a look and we'll start working out numbers for the next year. And usually it takes us a couple of hours. We don't do it all in one sitting kind of thing. And then towards the end of the month, maybe between the 15th and 20th of December, I'll get with my sales manager. I'll show her the numbers that we came up with. Damon, I think, was asking, how do you get your employees to buy in? Mm-hmm. This is how I get my sales manager to buy in, by giving her input for her to come back and say, whoa, I think that number for that month is too high. Usually you're not going to have someone that says, oh, I think that number's too low, unless they're the owner of the company. But, so that's how I get my sales manager to buy in. How much of it do I really change? I tend to say, thank you for your feedback. Let me think about it and get back to you, because I make knee-jerk reactions a lot of times. So that's my standard response, so that I don't make that knee-jerk and change it. And then a week later, kick myself because I changed it. And because I know something big's going to happen that month, that they're going to have this outrageous bonus. And it's not that I don't want to give my people bonuses, but I also want the company to make money. I want the company to succeed. Ultimately, the company is my bottom line. But so once I've gotten with my sales manager, we go over that. We maybe do that for an afternoon. And then if I make any changes, I then come back and show them to my business coach. And then I show them again to my sales manager. And then I email them to my bookkeeper to put them in her little spreadsheet so that she can start with her emails come January 1st.
All right. Cool. I love that. So you start on the 1st and that's it. We just get going and everybody starts tracking. All right. Well, thanks, Lauren.
Liz and I want to give you a big woo woo
woo woo.
I'll have to practice that. Anyhow, maid service, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I dropped the URL in our chat earlier if you want to take a deeper dive into Lauren's business.
I can't wait to look at that video. I love the title, right? All I want for Christmas is a clean home. I can't wait to watch it. Some
good stuff there. The book we're referring to earlier is Daniel Pink's Drive. I dropped that link in chat as well. We are at the top of the hour, so we're done for today. I guess we're really done for the week. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving, then Friday. We'll be back Monday. We're going to be talking about Six Sigma. It's going to be awesome. Lauren, thank you so much. This was
Thanks,
good
guys,
stuff.
for having me.
Yeah, I really appreciate it, Lauren. Y'all have a great Thanksgiving. And if you haven't started on your goals, December is next week. You just heard what Lauren said. Get started, y'all.
See ya. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.